Man, I just gotta start making more videos. I gotta talk about more stuff. Everything I do on this channel is like an infomercial, which I have fun with and which I have to do in order to make ends meet for my family. I don't want to complain about it. It's something I've done on purpose, and yet at the same time I'm feeling like I gotta make different stuff. Like this. Been writing in my field notes notebook very often. This video is sponsored by Field Notes in a way. I told them they would be like, product-y videos like I typically do, the stuff that typically gets more views. But this is a video that includes them. So I'm just gonna give them this sponsorship for free because I'm actually using their notebook. More Patreon, more ads and copywriting, and then do what you want. So in this video, I wanted to do two things. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about this page. I want you to support me on Patreon. And I don't want you just to give me your money there. I do want your money. I want you to support independent, creatives, people that you enjoy, people that you love. I do it, you should do it. Because it's not easy to figure out how to navigate the commercial side of creativity. It's something that I have been doing for almost like 2 decades professionally now. But it still is challenging because I don't like when I'm playing somebody else's game or something. And my hope is with Patreon, you can send me DMs. And you can say, why don't you make a video on this? You can say, I wish you would talk more about this. You can say, whatever. You can just encourage me. Or you can say nothing and just go like, here's $5 a month. I'll put a link to my Patreon below. It would be really helpful if there was more revenue coming in for me there. And then there's this one right here, more ads and copywriting. I used to geek out a lot on advertising. Actually, before all of this, wait a second. This thing here, Christ was an ad man by Robert Pritikin. Look at this picture of, before I was an advertiser, I was training to be a pastor. My undergraduate work is all in the history of Christian spirituality. I have a bachelor's of science in biblical studies, which is a BS in BS, if you're paying attention. It's something that just made a lot of sense to me because I used to say that Jesus was God's marketing director. So I was a Jesus guy before I was an ad guy, and then I was an ad guy. Because more ads and copywriting. I just made an advertisement with my friends at Studio Neat, and it's performing better than all of their ads. So instead of doing all like my YouTube video as the advertisement, I'd like to just kind of do more of that elsewhere. Work directly with the companies that I enjoy, that I like their product. I just speak product. I like products. And that's why this channel has grown. You like products too. You do. You like products. I'm cleaning the lens. There's like literally a bit on the lens. It's making me think of this camera. This camera changed my life. I convinced my wife, our baby was on the way, and I was like, we gotta have good pictures. And the very first thing, I hope I can find this, that I remember taking is, this was a Canon 5D, I think, back in the day. 50 millimeter prime lens, a cheap one, with like a 1.4 aperture, and you could just crank that aperture wide open and get these really beautiful shots. And I really had my life changed by that camera. And that's just one of the products that's changed my life. I really do like bags and backpacks. My father, if you ever bought like a bag or a tent or a sleeping bag at Walmart or Costco or Sam's Club through like the 90s, early 2000s, that was all My dad was the president of some company where everything was being manufactured out in China. And I only got to go to his office a couple times in my life, but when I did, I would love to go to the warehouse where there's just like tons of products and they'll have sample written on them. Luggage and soft goods is a part of my family history, not just my history, but I love bags. I love products in general. I love bags in particular. I love fucking mugs and coffee.
I love desk.
I love water bottles. I love people who write about interesting shit.
I love lamp.
Good books. I love good ideas. You know, I collect all of this stuff. And I'm a little bit afraid of the dementia that's coming my way, so I kind of write stuff down, or I love to collect it. I love to keep it around. But that's in direct opposition with the minimalism that I fell in love with. You know, having few things, but everything that you need. Okay, this is what, like, the first step of minimalism is having few things. The second step of minimalism is, but everything that you need. I'm going to Europe for a little while. What should I bring? And people are recommending like sleep mask and sling bags and all sorts of stuff. By the way, travel accessory videos coming up. I'm just waiting for one more package to arrive. But the most important thing is to pack light. Be able to really be there when you're there. Have a camera, have a notebook. Make sure there's money in your bank. You know? That's the real trick to minimalism, is make sure there's money in the bank. And I think the hard fucking rock that I'm stuck between is being an infomercial show, effectively. I'm living in the world of you need to buy something. And man, there are products that will change your life. But a product that changes your life, just like a drug that changes your life, is also a signal in the direction of something going wrong with life. Probably need another product. Get back to that hit and that feeling that it was like that first time you tried that nicotine or heroin or fucking one bag travel. Life to me feels more spiritual than that. Like, I was training to be a pastor. I really was a devout and sincere Christian, and I was not raised with it. I got into that in high school. I went over to smoke weed at a friend's house, freshman year. He's like, all right, well, if you want to spend the night, my mom's going to make us go to church in the morning. And I was like, cool, I've never been to church. That was my origin to Christianity. I wasn't doing it the way you're supposed to. I wasn't raised in it. I was on a missions trip building houses in Mexico before I had become a Christian. That's where I became a Christian. So it was all very organic to me. Went to school for it because it seemed like a small, cool, interesting school. It ended up being really academic and intellectual and very liberal. You could sense the difference between the heart of a spiritual life and the shell of a religion. Life feels spiritual to me. Life feels meaningful to me, and it can feel really unmeaningful. I can gorge myself on content and product and ego and greed, and my life can feel less substantial. Maybe the biggest ego trip of all is that you're a spiritual being and that life is spiritual, because that's the one that necessitates your own significance, your own importance. But it also elevates the importance of everything. I might have been a real big time Jesus guy and still am in a lot of ways. I also have explored with a lot of plant medicine stuff. Sorry, I don't mean to talk about it, but there was one experience where it was like, oh, this is the insect world. They're aliens. We've got existence and proof of UFOs now. Well, we always have had. Look closely at an ant. What the fuck is a thorax? They're everywhere. Sorry, that's an aside. Spiritual beings. They're all spiritual. So I want to believe that life is spiritual. So a bag, to me, actually has this weighty spiritual significance, which, hear me out, I needed to buy a good pair of running shoes before I could really enjoy running. I'm just one of those people. I have to geek out a little bit to fully invest myself in something and then go do it. And then I can learn what that thing's about. That's totally normal for some of us who have never had the experience of travel. right? You gotta like do some research. Oh, which travel bag, which travel bag, which travel bag, the whole time not really focusing on the things that matter about travel, which is like having enough money in the bank, like figuring out how you're gonna meet some locals, being the kind of person who can speak some of their language, right? And has enough little bit of charm or self-confidence, or, you want to be a better traveler, do some jujitsu because it makes you more confident or something, right? Like these are the things that matter. We don't know that when we're just starting out with travel. We're researching a product, but that helps us break the seal and get into it. That to me is beautiful. There's something spiritually beginner's mind beautiful about that. You don't even know where to start. Where are we starting in our modern culture? We're starting with what should I buy? So I want to make more ads because I think products are sort of spiritual, and I want to do it in a good way. I did one for my friends at Studio Neat for this, and it's performing like better than all of their ads by a long shot, which is just really encouraging. And I might be able to, actually make enough money so that I'm not just grinding away over here on this hamster wheel. I have one more thought. How to be yourself. In every one of my videos, just about, I end it with, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. I love that quote because I love this concept. The truth is, it's really hard to be yourself. I mean, this should be a different video. I'll do this in another video. Thanks to Field Notes. Use their link below. It supports the channel. Help me out on Patreon, would you? And then DM me there. And then if you know somebody that needs some good ads, holla at your boy. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken.